Thank you. You are the best with introductions. That was very flattering. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I don't know that I can be, excuse me, quite as eloquent as, the more experienced political folks, but I am excited to be here. I'm thankful that it worked out. Those of us who work in entertainment and in the entertainment industry often talk about the potential that we have to make some sort of a positive impact through our films or television shows. A lot of times that prevents an opportunity to promote or dispel stereotypes, to share histories, and to educate large masses of people, sometimes eerily, through the platform of entertainment. A lot of times you don't know exactly how many people are watching a TV show or a film that you've done, and it's kind of surprising when somebody stops you on the street and you realize that they've actually been paying attention to something. So those of you who are familiar with some of the roles I've played know that I've had the chance to play characters from stoners to exchange students to now a doctor and previously even a terrorist. And some of those roles have resulted in some pretty heated discussions on what sort of imagery is deemed acceptable or offensive, and to whom. Now, obviously, I'm an artist first and foremost, not a politician yet. But it does excite me that politically there is so much debate about stereotyping in the media. These discussions imply that there's no uniform consensus on how we view ourselves in reality. And while there's generally a shared history of immigration in all of our lives, there's no singular definition of what it means to be an American of South Asian descent. As a demographic group, we're concentrated in fields like medicine, engineering, and technology. This is obviously the result of post-65 immigration law circumstance and, of course, pressure from aunties and uncles who will tell you that you'll die if you don't go into certain fields. That's been my experience. I'm sure some of yours. None of us are dead. On the flip side, family reunification, financial need, and then the post-1980 era immigration laws brought concentrations in working class and service professions. As our numbers and purchasing power continue to grow, excuse me, we are increasingly targeted by advertisers and politicians who view us as potential consumers and also potential voting blocs. And now, despite these job-related concentrations, we don't all buy the same products or vote in the same way, thankfully. The community is politically split and also politically savvy. I think that this sense of individualism is a strong suit. We don't uniformly support Democrats or Republicans. In fact, members of both parties have been reprimanded the past couple of years for saying pretty ridiculous things. Let me talk about that for a second. Infamously, Republican Senator George Allen sort of went out of his way to say, "Welcome to America," to a UVA student who happened to be of Indian descent and was born in Fairfax County, in Allen's home state of Virginia, which is in our country, which is called America, which we don't really need to be welcomed to anymore since we are American. But Senator Allen isn't the only politician who has confounded American identity with ethnicity. Democratic Senator Joe Biden declared that, quote, "You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent." There aren't that many 7-Elevens or Dunkin' Donuts in LA, so I haven't been in a while, but I'm pretty sure that you don't need to talk like this in order to enter the building.
Now we know why you get the parts.
Yeah, because of that, exactly. The additionally infamous example of Senator Hillary Clinton joking that, quote, Mahatma Gandhi ran a gas station down in St. Louis is another one that I think we've all heard. I think it's pretty clear that there are a disproportionate number of brown folks working at gas stations, but to imply that there is some connection between the working class night clerk at Exxon and the man who used nonviolent civil disobedience to fight colonial occupation is awfully reductionist. Certainly, Mrs. Clinton would never have dared to joke that Martin Luther King Jr. ran a minstrel show in Tallahassee or that Nelson Mandela played football for the 49ers. Because the uproar from a statement like that would be irreparable. And I have played some pretty awful characters who have made some certainly off-color jokes myself, so I don't mean to imply that any of these folks were purposely trying to offend anybody. But the comments themselves signify a lack of fundamental understanding about what constitutes being American. And as our communities continue to participate in the political process, I think that politicians will become more aware of their constituents and accountable for their words, hopefully then erasing these arbitrary ties between perceived ethnicity and perceived nationality. As the first and second generations come of age, I hope that more of us will enter politics and the arts. Thank you, Ro, for all of the work that you've done, all of you who are here who have done so much incredible work, the IAC organizers, putting all of this together and fostering all of these opportunities for all of us. Thank you.